Hello, passionate Celtic fans. Today, we're diving deep into what could be one of the most critical transfer windows in recent memory for the Hoops. Over the years, I've been through countless January windows, each time feeling like this could be the biggest one yet. And every time, it's felt true in the moment. But looking at the situation right now with the way Celtic sit in the league, the squad gaps, and the mid-season appointment of a new manager, I truly believe this is a transfer window that could define the season and possibly the future trajectory of the club for years to come. We're not just talking about filling gaps or a few tweaks. This is about reshaping a squad that, at present, falls well short of the standards expected at a club of Celtic's stature. The pressure is immense, and for the first time in a long time, we're not entering January at the top of the table. There's chasing to do, and there's a lot of work required to bring this team back to a competitive level in Scotland and in Europe. What makes this window even more fascinating is the uncertainty surrounding the new manager, Wilfried Nancy. Unlike previous seasons, we cannot rely on a well-established blueprint or a proven approach to recruitment. We have limited insight into his methods, his vision for the team, or how he intends to integrate new players mid-season. This lack of clarity makes the stakes even higher. Celtic's recruitment team, despite their considerable resources and salaries, have often been criticized for their hit-or-miss approach, and this window is no exception. There's a nervous anticipation around the club because we know how crucial it is to get this right, yet history suggests that the odds might not be in our favor. Fans have long been accustomed to the mantra of keep the faith, especially in January, but the reality is that this window could make or break the campaign if the signings do not genuinely strengthen the squad. One name that has emerged in recent days is Josh Mulligan from Hibs. At 23, he has been a standout performer for Hibs since joining from Dundee in the summer, impressing consistently in the Premiership. Reports suggest Celtic are monitoring him, and the interest is genuine, though competition is fierce. Not only are English clubs like Leeds United and Nottingham Forest reportedly keen, but European teams are also keeping tabs on him. The parallels with past Scottish midfielders linked with Celtic, such as Lennon Miller, are striking. Players of this caliber who combine versatility with a homegrown pedigree are rare, and the window to secure their services can be narrow. Mulligan has proven himself across multiple roles: defensive midfield, advanced midfield, wing-back, and even out wide. This versatility is precisely the kind of asset Nancy needs for his adaptable system, which demands players capable of performing in the various positions depending on tactical requirements. Beyond his technical ability, Mulligan ticks significant boxes for Celtic in terms of homegrown player rules for European competitions. A player like him could provide both immediate impact and long-term value, bridging the gap between the current squad deficiencies and the standards expected for Champions League or Europa League competition. However, capturing a talent like Mulligan is not straightforward. Hibs hold the power in negotiations with a long-term contract, keeping him at the club until 2029. They are under no pressure to sell, and with multiple suitors circling, Celtic must show real ambition and willingness to invest substantially if they hope to secure his signature. History suggests the club has often hesitated at these moments, letting opportunities pass and losing out to teams prepared to act decisively. The stakes are clear. Either Celtic assert themselves, spend wisely, and bring Mulligan in to bolster the squad, or risk being left behind while other clubs capitalise on his talent. Adding to the intrigue is the situation around Diasmida, the 20-year-old winger at Celtic, who has attracted interest from Trabzonspor. Turkish reports indicate that the club's scouting team has been monitoring Mida for some time and are now exploring financial terms that could make a January move possible. Mida, capable of playing both as an attacking midfielder and as a striker, has been linked with a potential transfer if the financial package aligns with Celtic's valuation. While Nancy has publicly expressed hope that Mida will remain at the club, the signals are mixed. Past experiences suggest that when the right money comes along, players are willing to consider moves, even mid-season, particularly when there is an ambition to play regularly and further their development. Celtic must weigh the benefits of retaining a promising young player against the significant financial gain that a transfer could bring. The dual narrative of attracting new talent while managing the potential exit of promising players encapsulates the tension of this window. Celtic's board faces a delicate balance. Be aggressive enough to strengthen the squad, yet cautious not to disrupt the team's cohesion, or overcommit financially. January windows are notoriously tricky, and the added factor of a mid-season rebuild intensifies the challenge. We must remember that previous opportunities to sign top Scottish talents have been missed, from John McGinn to Lennon Miller, often leaving fans frustrated and questioning the club's ambition. This January, there is an opportunity to break that pattern, but it requires decisiveness, clarity, and a willingness to gamble on talent that could transform the team. In addition to these transfer considerations, the context of Celtic's league position amplifies the pressure. The squad has struggled, and the team's performances have left gaps that cannot simply be patched over with minor signings. The club's trajectory depends on making impactful acquisitions that can contribute immediately while also shaping the squad for sustainable success. For fans, the anticipation is a mix of excitement and anxiety. Every rumor, every report, every potential move is dissected because the window promises to be transformative or disappointing, depending on the decisions made. In a sense, this is more than just about individual signings. It is about signaling intent, restoring credibility in the transfer market, and demonstrating that Celtic is willing to back its ambitions with action and investment. Amidst all the speculation, the challenge remains clear. Can Celtic act boldly, secure top domestic talent like Josh Mulligan, and navigate the complexities of potential departures such as Diasmida? The balance of ambition, pragmatism, and timing will define the success of this window. Fans should temper expectations, yet remain hopeful because the stakes have never been higher. The opportunity to reshape the squad, set a foundation for European progression, and compete at the highest level domestically is tangible, but only if the club shows conviction, decisiveness, and a clear strategic vision. Continuing from the focus on January, the reality is that Celtic face a transfer window filled with uncertainties, but also opportunities that could define not just the season, but the club's strategy for the next few years. The pressure is immense, and every decision will be scrutinized by fans and pundits alike. We've seen the headlines linking Josh Mulligan with the Hoops, but it's important to unpack what that actually means. He's a young Scottish talent with versatility that few in the Premiership can match. For Wilfried Nancy, a manager known for his tactical flexibility and demand for multifunctional players, Mulligan could slot into multiple roles seamlessly. He can anchor the midfield when needed, push forward to support attacks, or even operate wide when circumstances require. That kind of adaptability is exactly what Nancy will need, especially considering the gaps and inconsistencies currently evident in the Celtic squad. Yet even with a player as promising as Mulligan, there are challenges. Hibs are under no obligation to sell and can command a premium given his contract running until 2029. Multiple clubs both in England and Europe are circling, and Celtic must act decisively if they wish to secure his signature. Historically, the club has been cautious, often letting Scottish talents slip through their fingers. John McGinn, Lennon Miller, and other players in recent years illustrate this pattern. The lesson here is clear. Opportunity waits for no one, and January offers Celtic a chance to reverse that trend. If they fail to act boldly, it may not just be a missed signing, it could signal to the wider football community that the Hoops are reluctant to compete aggressively in the transfer market, potentially undermining the club's credibility with both players and fans. Turning attention to Dice Mida, the situation is equally intriguing but equally complex. The young winger has been linked with interest from Trabzonspor, suggesting that the Hoops may face a real test in keeping hold of emerging talent. Mida's contract runs until 2027, which places Celtic in a strong negotiating position, but it also opens the door to significant temptation. For a club in the midst of a rebuild, the financial considerations of a potential sale are substantial, especially given that January windows rarely offer the luxury of time to replace key talent seamlessly. Nancy has expressed hope that Mida will stay, but the uncertainty surrounding his future adds another layer of complexity to what is already a delicate transfer period. Fans should note that these situations are rarely straightforward. The narrative in Turkish media about potential moves should be approached with caution, yet the interest reflects real market dynamics that Celtic must navigate carefully. This window is further complicated by the broader squad needs. Celtic are not just looking for one or two players, they need multiple reinforcements across the pitch. The defensive unit requires attention, particularly in areas where depth has been lacking, and the attacking options must be bolstered if the team is to challenge on all fronts. Each signing must be carefully considered, not just for immediate impact, but also for compatibility with Nancy's system and the long-term strategy of the club. The pressure on recruitment is enormous, and the margin for error is small. Fans are right to scrutinize each development, and the stakes extend far beyond a single match or even a single season. It is also worth considering the psychological aspect of the transfer window. Players coming in during January face immediate pressure to perform, while those being linked with departures must navigate uncertainty that can affect their form. Maintaining morale, integrating new signings, and keeping the squad cohesive amid speculation is a managerial challenge in itself. Wilfried Nancy's experience will be tested as he must balance ambition with pragmatism, manage expectations, and ensure that the squad remains focused despite the flurry of rumors and potential movements. This is not a situation the Hoops have encountered often, particularly with a mid-season managerial change and the pressure of European competition looming. The fan perspective cannot be understated. Celtic supporters are passionate, vocal, and deeply invested in the club's fortunes. Every report about potential signings, departures, or interest from other clubs is dissected and discussed at length. The narrative surrounding players like Mulligan and Mida is not just about their abilities on the pitch, it's about what these moves signify for the club's ambition, the board's willingness to spend, and the broader vision for the future. Expectations must be tempered, but hope remains a powerful motivator. Fans will watch, analyze, and debate every decision, and the energy surrounding this window could define the atmosphere both on match days and in the lead-up to European fixtures. Looking further, the challenge for Celtic extends beyond the domestic market. The club must compete with teams across Europe who have greater financial resources, wider scouting networks, and the ability to offer guarantees regarding playing time, development, and exposure in continental competitions. Securing young Scottish talent is increasingly difficult when larger clubs are circling, often presenting a package that smaller teams like Celtic struggle to match. This reality adds urgency to the January window, reinforcing the notion that the Hoops must be decisive if they are to attract and retain the players necessary to elevate the squad. From a strategic perspective, this window also offers a chance for Celtic to send a message by pursuing the right signings, investing wisely, and demonstrating ambition. The club can reassert itself as a dominant force in Scottish football and a competitive presence in Europe. It is not just about filling positions, it is about building a squad capable of sustained success, balancing experience with youth, and ensuring that tactical flexibility is matched by technical quality. Wilfried Nancy's vision demands players who can adapt, execute varied roles, and contribute to a coherent system, and the recruitment team must rise to that challenge. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers are swirling around Celtic Park as murmurs of a disciplinary shake-up stir the Hoops faithful. Sources close to the club claim that Wilfried Nancy, the man at the helm, has taken an uncompromising stance over matters off the pitch, reportedly sidelining one of his key starters for alleged indiscipline. Insiders suggest that the decision was not taken lightly, but Nancy, known for his strict management style, has made it clear that certain standards simply cannot be compromised, even for players who have previously been pivotal to the squad's fortunes. Fans are left guessing which prominent figure has been caught in the crosshairs, with speculation rife across social media and fan forums. Some suggest the issue stems from training ground behavior, while others hint at alleged breaches of team protocols away from the club's facilities. Whatever the case, the message from Nancy seems unequivocal. Talent alone does not grant immunity. Celtic supporters, ever passionate and vocal, are now watching closely to see how this disciplinary move will ripple through the team dynamics. Analysts and former players have weighed in, noting that such decisive actions by managers can either galvanize a squad or create tensions within the dressing room. The contrast between Nancy's strict approach and the traditionally fiery yet camaraderie-driven ethos of Celtic squads has only fueled debate. Will this be a turning point in his tenure, establishing a culture of accountability, or will it spark controversy that overshadows the pitch? Meanwhile, the player in question remains tight-lipped, with no official statement forthcoming. The wider football community is abuzz with conjecture, dissecting past performances and potential triggers for Nancy's stern response. In an era where managerial patience is often tested, the Hoops now find themselves under a microscope, with fans and pundits alike eager to see whether discipline will triumph over disruption, or if whispers from the training ground will grow louder before long. For now, Celtic Park is shrouded in tension, the murmurings of unrest mingling with the usual chants and excitement of match day. Wilfried Nancy's reputation as a no-nonsense tactician is on full display, and all eyes are on the squad to see how they respond when one of their own has been benched, not for injury but for breaking the code. Rumours may abound, but one thing seems certain. At Celtic, discipline comes first, and Wilfried Nancy is determined to prove it. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.